and welcome to Sporting Jibberish. I'm Stuart Booth.
And I'm Jack Luffman. No funny voices.
Nobody threw me then because normally I like to have the camera on at the start, and he started with the wrong way around, and I can't see myself, and he slightly puts me
You're
on.
not looking at yourself, is what you're trying to say.
Yeah, well, everybody would probably agree. If the fine specimen mode, you don't want to look at yourself.
Exactly, mate. Yeah, why not? If you can't love yourself, what's the point?
Yeah, well, who do you love? Right, anyway, on with today's show. So today's show, we're going to have a little bit of European football. We'll talk about a little event that we did actually this week. So
yeah.
we'll talk a little bit about that.
Not last Thursday night out with Charlie.
That is, I don't think that we're allowed to talk about that on here, are we?
Oh dear.
That's just a whole show on its own.
Do you know what today he started off with? I've needed a quiet weekend. By lunchtime he's going, are we going again?
Does not surprise me, the guy's an animal. We'll be looking at our sporting history, a little bit of cricket, England, no, I suppose
I've got a bit of an opinion about that actually. And of course the second test is in progress now.
Yeah, it's just
not
started. Yeah. Golf as well, but we're going to start off with our week. So this week it was a magical birthday of mine, grand old age of 32.
Plus 9.
Hey, quick maths.
Very good. Not just a pretty face.
Yeah, well.
Or a face for radio, as Mr. Cairns rightly put it the other day.
Quite possibly. But yeah, we went out for a few shandies on Thursday night. But the more important event was a Sunday for the quiz.
Yeah.
So I decided, as I got there was balloons all over our desk, as we call it, our DJ desk.
It's going alright, that quiz, by the way.
Yeah, and then we had a surprise turnout from staff from our school. To come and support me on my birthday. Which
showed the love, didn't it?
It did. It was actually a really fun event. Really good laugh, good bit of banter between us and the crowd. Had a really good time, and everybody there seemed to enjoy it. So yeah, if you find yourself short of something to do on a Sunday evening, Studio One, come to the Void for 7 o'clock. But I will say to you now, we're starting to get a bit of a crowd together.
Yeah.
So if you're thinking about it, booking.
You need to book in with the Void upstairs. Of course, this week, prior to the quiz, it's England's first game that we're going to watch there, aren't we? In a, dare I say, a private cinema room, Stuart. There we go. With other people, I have to hasten to add. So it could be quite, we could be quite loose, I guess.
Yeah, I'm going to say it's an intimate setting.
Yes, and then we've got the quiz. So yeah, that started off the week well.
Yeah.
And then you play football Wednesday?
Yes, so yeah, Wednesday night.
And I don't know what happened actually. We've not spoken to you.
No. I'm lagging a bit today actually. We played the Redbacks, who I said had actually picked up, and it turns out they lost their first game 4-1. But since then, they've amalgamated players from another team to bolster, which we're finding is happening quite a lot. Every time we turn them to a team, it's kind of two teams joined together to create one team. First few minutes we look alright, and then make a mistake, 1-0 down. Before we know it, we've made two big errors. Somebody went to play the ball through, got intercepted. The ball then fell to the other centre half. We could have cleared it. He then tried to play out, trying to overcomplicate things and keep the ball not in the right area, in my viewpoint. Got caught with it, and then in order to try and get it back, brought the guy down, give away a penalty. So within 10 minutes, we're 1-0 down. They've got a penalty. And I'm not joking you now, it was the worst penalty I've ever
seen. I think you say keeper's pulled a world out.
No, it was literally, I don't think it had gone in even if the keeper wasn't there. It just had nothing on it. It was really bizarre. It was rolled just to the goalkeeper's left, but so slow that the goalie was actually led down the floor and it just rolled into his hands gently. I do wonder if it crossed the line. But that would have been a changing point. And then we managed to get one back. We played 30 minutes because the heat we're on 40s up here at the moment. It's stupid.
74% humidity the other morning when I was on school duty.
Yeah, it is not nice. So it was 1-1 at the start of the end of the first 30. Then we went 2-1 up with a really good team goal, some really nice intricate play, and I actually dropped out of play. We changed our formation, went 3-5-2 for the first time. I did question the gaffer. I was like, we're unbeaten for 2 years, playing 4-3-3. Why are we going to 3-5-2 today? We were just a little bit out of sorts, and it was more positioning of players. If this player had moved up 10 yards, it makes a massive impact on the whole shape of the pitch. And it's nothing against the lads. We tried something different, it didn't work. We reverted back to 4-3-3, created some great chances, went 2-1 up, and then, was it 2-1? Oh no, they equalised just at the stroke of the second 30. So going into it, and we looked like we're lagging a bit, but then so did they. Anyway, dead bizarre as I got fouled on the halfway line. I was on the left-hand side of the pitch. And I go to the guy, quick, give it me. There's a bit of space for me to run at. And I knew the fullback had been booked, so I wanted to really run at him. And he was like, no, I'm going to put it in the box. I'm like, no, give it me. Anyway, all the team heard him shout, I'm going to put it in the box. So I went to the box, and then I was still stood there, just inside, 10 yards inside their half, with absolutely nobody in front of me. So he gives it me, so I'm like, right, running, and the fullback's come across me, I'm thinking, this is it, I'm one-on-one, I can get it past him, he can't touch me.
Yeah.
So I've stepped over, thinking he's going to go that direction. Anyway, he's not gone, so I've dropped the shoulder, and he's kind of gone, and then I pushed it inside him. As I pushed it inside him, I took a touch inside the area, and it's just head down and laced it, and just gone straight across the face of the goal. And it's gone across. It's not gone directly to top corner, but it's ended up, if it was the top corner at the back of the net, it's hit that area. I thought the goalie should have saved it, if I'm completely honest, but...
You're taking it?
I'll take it, put us 3-2 up, then we went 4-2 up within a matter of 2 minutes. They looked deflated. And then my back went. My injury, I got the ball, I went to step up to turn, as I turned, shoot pain all down the left hand side, and I just couldn't even run. So I just had to hobble off to the side at that point, subbed off, walked my way back round. We then scored to make it 5-2, and then they got one back right at the end to make it 5-3, but good result.
So skipper, were you still the kiss?
Yeah, still skipper. Worry now is how bad this is. I'm back in the physio on Saturday. Gaffer's texted me this morning like, how's the back? Are you alright for next week? And everybody I spoke to was like, yeah, you should really stop playing now and sort it out, because can't work out. There's a muscle just above your hamstring that's basically in your butt cheek, but underneath that is sciatica. So that nerve end is exactly the same place, and when you press it, the pain pressure is unbelievable. But what it's doing is it's basically freezing all the left hand side of my back muscles.
A bit like a spasm.
Yeah, so that spasm then goes all the way up my back. So that today is tight as. So yeah, it's not in a good way, but I'll patch up and probably roll out.
He'll play next week. He'll play next week.
She was like, well, by the time he stopped his knee, he'd end up in a wheelchair. I was like,
well, she can push you around.
Push me, can't you? Yeah. So nowadays, it'd probably have an electric one, so I'll be alright.
There's no way she's pushing you in a wheelchair, by the way.
No. Pushing you down the hill more,
maybe,
but that's about it. But yeah, good result. So yeah, we roll on. Big game next week. Last 3 games are now the big ones. So we've got Bears next week, who've drawn their opening 2 games. So it'll be interesting to see how they get on.
Good stuff.
But I tell you, Jay was playing for the Bears last night.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, I walked on the pitch and I looked at him. I was like, oh my god, you're on. Jay, what's going on? He was like, I don't know why I'm here. She was like, I don't. Oh wait, you've come all the way from Abu Dhabi for this. He was like, they just said they were short. I think they just need 50 dirhams. but yeah, imagine if he's like, it's the first time playing it here.
Oh.
And that heat wasn't nice and the pitch is huge.
Yeah.
But yeah, done a dusted roll on Bears next week.
Okay.
So.
Any
news?
Well, 2 bits. So I'll go with my news first. So we've got the captains and they call it captains and owners meeting in a hotel on Monday coming evening to launch DSL 9.
Yeah. So
we're in.
Ooh.
So we're going there. So me and Dave are going as chairman and captain or whatever. Not an owner. Clearly not an owner. It's not like the IPL. It's going to be a draft, but no. So that's good. We're going to hopefully, playing golf tomorrow, so hopefully confirm our logos and stuff. So the other half has done those, some options for us, so we can choose them. And then all systems go.
Oh, so is it you? Have you got your sponsorship and your team names all confirmed?
So team name Dubai Wanderers Cricket Club, and sponsors we've got 1 or 2. We're nothing signed anything because we've got to actually officially be accepted into the competition, and then all systems go.
Wow, it's just interesting. Our club looks like it's branching out into different sports,
and
I only found this out last night. So I was like, I'll speak to Jack, but maybe it's too late. But yeah. Basically, the All-Stars have branched out and they're trying to entice the Tigers team that end up drinking with our All-Stars in a week. It's potentially coming into their league as the Dubai All-Stars netball.
Yeah, well, it's funny because I'd actually spoken about doing a cricket section with the Tigers, but I think it's a bit dodgy at the minute, isn't it? I think so. They might take up for that.
Well, I'll have a word with Cobby afterwards. You might become Dubai XL Wanderers All Stars.
Dubai Wanderers All Stars. There we go.
Just All Stars.
Oh, the All Stars. Yeah.
But
anyway, yeah. So at the minute with Dubai Wanderers, but watch this space.
Yeah, could be anything. Could happen.
But bigger news than that, I'll just show you the pictures. His nephew made his debut.
Yes, Rory.
Rory made his debut last night for Woodhall again. I'm not sure who it was against, but under 11s, and he's 7.
That's an amazing achievement on its own.
So he apparently bowled well.
Well, I saw the video footage, great action.
Yeah, he's gone all right there, and then
I believe he did a jack at the end.
Yeah, well, I think there's a video for it. They're batting pairs, obviously, in that, so 4 overs or 2 overs, whatever many overs it was. And him and his partner didn't get out, didn't lose a wicket, which is really good. But I don't think he actually scored a run off the bat. Which it'd be a bit of a struggle, I guess, playing against 11-year-olds. You think about some of our first years against Warriors 7, but did a good job. And then, there's a video of him coming off and he kind of dismisses his bat a little bit, but he looked the bee's knees in all his gear. And
he's a Luffman, isn't he?
He's got his helmet is PJ, so it's Jardina's old Woodhall helmet that he's got that my brother's managed to manipulate, so it's obviously fits him properly. So he's got all the gear, the boy. But yeah, really good. Difficult that I won there, but it's a shame. But I'm sure we'll be plenty more times. Maybe get a game with him.
Yes.
In a few years' time. There's a picture for a proud granddad moment, I think it was.
Yes.
As you can probably imagine.
Oh, I can. Right, on to the US Open golf.
Yeah, well, obviously that's coming up this weekend. And reason being that obviously all the big names will be there, and we can all. Matty Alder's probably the one, he gets the tips right, doesn't he? So whoever wins, I'm not sure. But the interesting thing was that Dave Coupland, who is Boston boy, he plays out of Woodhall Spa Golf Club now, but previously played out of Boston West, which is where Mother Tom and obviously Michelle used to work. He's been on the European Tour. I think it's his second or maybe his third full year on the European Tour. Done well. He finished in the top 4 or 5 in the tournament the other week, but he's 8th in the rankings and therefore has got a free ride to the US Open this week. So I believe that's the first time he's been to an overseas major.
Not a bad gig though, is it?
Decent. And it's funny because we follow each other on Instagram, and only last week he was out, his missus put a video of him cutting the grass in his garden in a very modest new house somewhere in Lincolnshire. So
I wonder when you get to that, obviously making that step into that level, that you come along onto the stage of the tour like that, and I suppose it's very much an individual sport aspect, is it? Suddenly you throw into the likes of stepping into it, like Rory's there, Tiger's there, and you've got these Phil Mickelson's there, and you're like, wow, this must be a little bit daunting, a little bit intimidating. And same probably with tennis and
because you are on your own, aren't you? Yeah. Because what people don't realise, I guess, is that if you're not a massive into the golf and you just sort of see, and probably a sports fan will know all the ones you just reeled off there, but actually a life of a professional golfer lower down the world rankings or on the lower down the European Tour or on what they call the Challenge Tour to get your full card, it's not exactly lucrative. You have to pay all out of your own pocket. Yeah, you'll get sponsorship, and I think Dave's been supported well by local sponsors as time's gone on. So I don't think he's the he won't be the multi-millionaire. I would imagine that people think just because you're a professional golfer, but things like this you never know if he goes and has a great round and he's had a good season. So, and he has said he would come on, because my brother spoke to me, he said he would come on the show at some point, but obviously he's very busy, so maybe hopefully we won't bother you before this weekend.
Let's get him on tomorrow before his first
on the flight. In fact, get on the flight and we'll get you on the flight. But yes, hopefully we'll get him on at some point. But from one Lincolnshire yellow belly to another, good luck, Dave, at the US Open this weekend.
Good luck, David. But yeah, on that, a friend of mine's brother was at that point where he was on the European Tour card.
Yeah.
And did it, but was actually losing money because he wasn't getting enough money from it. Had to retire from the game or hand his card in. He then started doing golfing holidays and became a pro at a club, and then started doing that aspect, and then got back on the tour to try and then make a bit of money. And I think he was much more successful the second time around, but really struggled the first time because it is a lot of flights here, hotels here, and like you said, it's all out of your own pocket.
And you have to pay the caddy.
Yeah.
And I know actually another friend of my brother's who was the head greenkeeper at Boston West for many a year before Tom took over. When Tom first worked there, Richard, he was a caddy on the tour a few years ago now, or a long time ago before he went to greenkeeping. Caddy on the tour, and he talks about how he'd get like the percentage of the tour from the pro he was caddying for, but was worth nothing, so they'd stay in caravans, sleep in the bunkers on the course, in tents, all sorts. So it's not that, like many sports, just because you're a professional, it's not the whole glam of what we see on the television.
How's Stuart McGowan lined up for this week? Is he ready to win it?
He's going alright.
Can't wait to see him shoot. I love Stuart McGowan. Right, okay, European Championships. So this week we actually did a one-off show, which may be of interest for you guys if you're participating in the fantasy football. So if you have a look on our podcast list or on our YouTube links, you will see that we did a fantasy football special with Mr. Kearns, or Jason Kearns as we call him, and a competition that he's running within the Gems WSO family. So we can't let you enter that, unfortunately, but you can enter the Raddison Red one, which is all decorated out. It's got a
Euro zone.
It's basically like a fan zone, and now I've got Heineken on draft, which is not a bad shout.
You're tempted, aren't you?
But yeah, I think we've got to snip on. Just sneak away while my wife's not looking.
Just for a tester.
Just for a tester. But I really like it. The best thing about it is they've got a wall chart, and you're talking like this is a wall chart. If you've ever seen one, I just imagine my wall chart back over here. Little things, you just slide them in and drop them in. You write it on tiny little writing what the score was. This is like England badges like this big. It's like
massive,
full on decent. That half the size of a house.
Yeah,
you're not going to miss that. But get yourself down there if you're out and about. But then also have a look on our social media links. Get involved. There's a free stay available for you.
Good competition over there. And like I say, on that chat, we gave a few tips, didn't we?
Yeah, so we went through the players and the teams, and we just picked out. There's your obvious names are there, but I think a bit like everybody else is that when it comes to Premiership, everyone's quite comfortable because they know the majority of players. But when it comes to European Championships, and you're looking at players there that play in the German League or the Spanish League, even the Cypriot League, which I've got to mention on there.
It's your specialist subject, huh?
Yeah, Cypriot League.
Division 3.
I actually played against Cypriot under-21 international.
Did you?
In my playing days. Couldn't get anywhere near him. So we laughed at how good the Cypriot League is, but this lad was head and shoulders better than I was. But yeah, have a look at that. But we're just going to have a little overview of the championships.
I was just thinking, we'll finish with who we're going to win. Who you think will win?
All right, okay.
But who are you looking forward to watching play as an individual on that stage?
As a team, I'm actually, and it's nothing to do with Tuna because he'll say it's to do with him. I quite like the look of some of the Turkish players. They've got a few players in there, but they're like an unknown quantity because they're not your household names. There's a lad that's Una who's at Leicester.
Yeah.
He's a bit of a decent player, but he just doesn't get the run out of Leicester, probably because he's always going to be behind the likes of Barnes and the other boys there. But they've got a bit of a team. Across the groups, Denmark I'd say wouldn't be another bad dark horse team because they've got a few, and it surprises you when you go, oh, have they got? And you go, they've got Schmeichel. Schmeichel's Danish, and you go, who else they've got? They've got big centre half who plays for Southampton.
Yeah,
Vestergaard, and then you've got your boy. Højbjerg, you've got Ericsson in there.
He's our boy, really.
Yeah, he's not. He left you, man. Left you in the lurch. But yeah, you'd be surprised at some of them.
I think you've got Group C there just on the thing. I think there could be a shock coming out of there in terms of Netherlands could struggle to get out of there because they're in bad form, aren't they?
They're just so inconsistent.
Yeah.
So inconsistent. I like Ukraine in that group.
I'd love North Macedonia to come out of that.
No, I don't.
Absolutely fabulous.
Paul Walker's picked them in the sweepstakes, so I don't want them
well, they're not going to win it, but...
No. Ukraine, I like the look of. The more I think about Group D, and we're looking at it now, it's Croatia, Czech Republic, England and Scotland. I did pick England, but then the more I think about it, it's going to be... I can see England beating Czech Republic. I was there when we played them and spanked them 5-0. And when we lost 2-1 to them, it was a completely different team in a different scenario. So I can't see Czech Republic causing those problems. Croatia, we should be, but you never know. Modric, when he's playing, and you've got Rakitic in there, Perisic, you know,
they're aging, but they've still got some quality.
Yeah,
players.
and they've got. Well, that's the thing is that when I had a look at their squad, they've got 3 or 4 under-22s. Yeah. All the rest are over that. So you've got an experienced group there. You've Kovacic at Chelsea. I don't think they're going to be as easy as when we played them in the Europa League. So that's going to be quite a difficult game. And then England versus Scotland shouldn't be a game. It should just be an England win, end of day. But when it's such a rivalry like that, Scotland will not stop running until that final is gone, and they'll battle for everything.
I agree. I've said to you that although it's the kind of thing, like I went with my heart, and I think they've got as good a chance as anybody to win England, but it wouldn't. It could be one of them things where they don't get out of the group if we're not careful. Yeah. It wasn't until today that I realised, because Rowan at work printed us all out. Got a chart, not as big as the Rally Reds.
I've got a wall chart now.
And I was looking at it. England need to come runners up in their group. If they win the group, right,
get a worse draw.
Depending on who wins it, they're coming out of this group. So if they win the group, they're going to have to play one of either France, Germany, or Portugal in the last 16.
Is that Hungary not in there?
No, they're not getting out of there. They can stay hungry. And then in the next one, they could potentially play the other side if they win. So if let's say they play France, and then they could play Portugal in the quarterfinals, and then Belgium in the semi-finals. Yeah. So if they win the group and they then go on to win it, they'd have absolutely deserved it. But you're never going to play for second or third. Clearly, it's a dangerous game, but it wouldn't be a disaster if England played second.
Yeah.
And I hadn't realised the half of the draws, so my heart would say I'd love to see England do it, but I think now you've got to look at something like a France, Belgium, Portugal, Belgium final.
Yeah. Well, this is the interesting one. This is the other group I put up on the screen in front of us. Is Group F, which is the group of death. But there is a chance that all three won't qualify because it's third place. There's only four top third places to go through. So there could be a fact that, let's imagine that. Let's just take Portugal for instance. That draw against Hungary or beat Hungary and then lose the other two games.
Yeah. 3 points might be enough.
Could not be enough.
You would have thought 3 points won't be enough to finish at the top.
You're thinking a draw. You're thinking a win and a draw.
4 points.
Yeah, win and draw should get you through. But
it's true that I've not thought about that.
There is a risk that one of them three big teams doesn't go through. But it's what a group. It's such a mouth-watering group because you're literally looking at it going, it's France Germany first game.
Yeah.
And you're going, what an appetite that is. Yeah. And that could be in the final.
Yeah, and I've actually said yesterday that do not bet against Germany and Italy, particularly Italy in the other half.
Yeah.
So do not bet against them because they are tournament football specialists. But you're going for, I know you'll go for.
Well, we're not talking. We're finishing now with it.
Oh, well, unless you've got something else to say now.
No. I thought you were at the end of the show.
Oh no. So at the end of this segment. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I can't see. Well, I'm going France. It's going to be the French boys. I just think on paper look outstanding. And did you realise that Giroud is only 3 or 4 goals off Thierry Henry's record? Can't get a sniff for Chelsea.
Has he scored 46 and Thierry Henry scored around 50, I think, or 51?
He scored 2 the other night, didn't he? So he's only a handful of goals away.
It's incredible that
Benzema's missing.
Yeah.
So does Giroud get the start because they'll play Griezmann and Mbappe around him?
Yeah. It amazes me that, and Chelsea again aren't they, after they've not played with the number 9. Did well, didn't she? Can't argue with Tuchel as such, but dropped Abraham out of his picture, which became out of England's picture now. It still didn't play Giroud, and now there's talk of them wanting a striker. It's a bit bizarre for me. I know he's getting on a little bit, and you're probably not going to get 38 Premier League games and all the Champions League games have played, but bizarre that. I mean, if I was a manager in the Premier League or elsewhere, that somebody like, I don't know, like a Leicester maybe, who wants another target man. Probably not the best example, but in that realm of players, go, come on, because you can play 38 Premier League games for me.
Yeah.
But I don't know. But look, imagine that cake.
Yeah, but he'd love that because he loves the header.
But he's a good player. I've always rated him.
So I'm going to ask you two. I'm going to ask you to pick out who you think's going to win and who do you think could be a little bit of a dark horse. It's not going to win it, but maybe might ruffle a few feathers. Okay. So you got Finland a couple of years ago that ruffled a few.
Oh, Iceland, obviously, 2016.
Oh, sorry, Iceland was, sorry, not Finland.
Alright, so I'm going to go with my heart still to win it, because I think they've got as good a chance.
Deluded England fans.
I am a little bit deluded on that part, but let's go England. Or Belgium. Dark horse, I've said earlier, I don't know what they class as a dark horse. Italy, they're unbeaten in 30-something games.
Yeah, but have you seen the list of teams they played?
Yeah, but and that's going to be fair, but I think the tournament specialist. The other side will be interesting because in the right half of the draw, Denmark.
Okay, right.
What about you?
I really like a couple of squads, Turkey and Ukraine is my two ones that if they can put a little bit together.
Could upset it.
Could just ruffle a few feathers.
There will be one team, won't there?
There's always one.
There's always one team. The two things you can guarantee out of tournament football: there'll be one team that surprises everybody, not necessarily win it, like the Danes did in '92, but will upskill a few feathers, and guarantee that there'll be some unknown player who has a stellar tournament, whether it's a goalkeeper, a centre half, a forward who bangs out goals in. Some Premiership side will spend ridiculous sums of money on them, and you'll win a share.
Yeah, Liverpool use it.
My word.
Senegalese players. Right, on this day, Jack, on this day. So, on this day, 1968, final of the European Championships. Nice little link there.
Yeah.
It was in the Stadio Olimpico in Rome. Italy beat Yugoslavia 2-0. And this is even surprising. After a replay. The first game was a 1-1. I didn't even know they did replays.
No, that is an interesting...
Yeah, I wonder when replay stopped.
I never knew that. That's an interesting... I quite like that.
Oh, well, I think I peaked too early then, haven't I?
No, because, think about it, does that stop alleviate these boring finals? Because really, truthfully, will a side really want to play another game, bear in mind the seasons that players have either side, I quite like that. Rather than going straight to extra time pen straight away. Interesting.
I don't know. Would a team play more to try and win it in one leg?
I don't know. Interesting. Even though it happened, so there we go.
1981, Sebastian Coe of England sets a new 800-metre record in Florence. Ran it in 1 minute 41.73 seconds. But about the same time it takes me to walk down the stairs.
So yeah.
At the moment.
I was 3 months old, 4 months old.
5
months old, 4 months. 4 months old.
And the other one there, we've got 1995 French Open winner was Steffi Graf.
Who is now married to?
Agassi.
Yes.
He actually won something as well, Agassi, on this day. French Open men's tennis, 1990 French Open men's tennis. Andres Gomez of Ecuador wins his first and only career Grand Slam, beating Andre Agassi in the final. So Agassi.
He was the perennial bridesmaid for a long while, wasn't he? In the 90s in major finals until he won one.
Yeah.
Very good.
I don't think there's anything else of real note. Oh, there we go. 2012.
No way,
French Open women's
tennis. No wonder
you're
smiling.
Maria Sharapova's just appeared on my screen. It turns out that she won the French title.
There we go.
Beating some chick from Italy.
And of course that's ongoing at the minute at Roland Garros, isn't it?
Yes, and did you hear about last night? So the tournament, where the games were still going on because they'd not finished the game, and it went past curfew time.
Oh, right.
So they had to kick all the fans out while the game carried on.
Oh my goodness.
Can you imagine being sat there going, I can't wait, this is the best game ever. Right, off. Sling your rock.
Oh dear.
So yeah, another interesting fact.
And Wimbledon must be around the corner.
Can't be far off, is it? Yeah.
It's usually now, but I think
end of
maybe
June,
they push things back a little bit for this year.
Right, it depends on the football competitions as well. Yes, right. Okay, we are on to the cricket section. So I've got my pillar over here.
You put it on at my place on Sunday. It was you sending the cricket on.
I don't think I said that.
So, Test match, were you definitely there when...
Yeah, because it was interesting on that point, the fact that New Zealand had basically just got a fishing rod with some bait, cast it out and went, come on England.
Yeah, and what a declaration. Hands down to New Zealand and Williamson. Brilliant declaration. More of that should happen in Test match cricket.
They're only friendlies though, aren't they?
Well, this was technically only a friendly because it wasn't part of the RCC World Test Championship, but they're not friendlies. Test match, the pinnacle of the sport, Stuart.
Sorry, I should
what a declaration! You were dead right. Down with the carrot. And what we didn't watch any of it because we went off to do the quiz. I brought some arts the next day and read the reports, and I tend to agree with. Well, I wouldn't be too critical of England not actually going for it. It's a bit disappointing that they didn't even have a sniff. That you want to make sure you don't lose a Test match first.
Yeah. I think it's important that you definitely don't want to lose an early wicket.
Absolutely, right. Get in, and then once that partnership was fairly decent, let's have a look. Where can we get to with an hour's play left? But by all accounts, and certainly from the highlights I watched, we never really looked like we're going to have a go, or even get ourselves into a position where we might have a go. Yeah, the argument is very inexperienced. There was no Bairstow, there was no Butler, there's no Stokes in that side. The ones that could, even at Test level with boundary men around, could take it on to the next level. I'll back that. But isn't that an opportunity for one of the young guns to take it by the scruff of the neck and make a name for themselves and win a Test match for your country?
What did England finish on score-wise?
I don't know. Can't remember.
Did they lose any wickets?
They were 4 down.
Right, okay. So they could have gambled on at least 2 wickets, couldn't they?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. They just never got themselves in a position to even have a pop at it, which, from my point of view, is very disappointing.
Yeah. That's why they didn't have 7 Jack Luffmans who could have all been out in the duck.
Oh yeah, we would have been struggling, would have been losing. But yeah, good to see that in a Test match that we lost the whole day to rain and wasn't particularly exciting for obvious reasons. That both sides are coming a bit cold. That New Zealand at least played their part, but of course all to play for this Test match because it's a 2-match series.
Just starting today, isn't it?
Yeah, just looking at England. They won the toss to 67 for naught off 30 overs. So it's go slow. Good start, but go slow. But Sibley and Burns are doing what they do, setting it up, and that's what they do. So that's a good start. Other points to note: Anderson becomes the highest ever outright now, highest ever Test match cap player, 162nd Test match now.
So who's closer to him? Broad must
know. Cook, who's level with Cook, obviously retired, and then.
But how far away is Broad?
There was a few. He's over 100 though, Broad. So so many wickets, he could overtake him because he's like 3 or 4 years younger. But I've got a suspicion that Broad's probably not quite as fit as Anderson.
Yeah, and you've also got Broad that's more full on pace, isn't it? So you can imagine that's going to wear out.
So I don't know. He might come close, but he might not. So that's a great effort. And then Ollie replaces the suspended Ollie Robinson. Obviously, you read about those tweets. Yeah, which
but I read 2 the other day. I've not seen all of them, and I just didn't understand what he'd done. Well, I think he was just saying about if you did a certain thing, then females would find you more attractive.
Yeah,
but I don't know.
Basically, a bit of sexist and there's a racist one with racist undertones as well.
I've not seen that one.
Which you see both sides of the argument. I just think, and then people have been dragging up a current England player they've not named from when he was 15. And he said something, and then other people, lots of the players have been deleting their accounts. And I just think that, look, we've got to get society right in terms of sexism, race, and all that kind. We all know that. Everybody who doesn't know that, he must be in Claire Cuckoo land.
Yeah.
And what he's done as an 18-year-old is a mistake. It's wrong what he said. No, absolutely no doubt about it. But I question whether they needed to have suspended him over it once he'd made an apology. Come out and say he's been educated and all those kind of things, 100%. But to suspend the lad off after his Test debut for something that he's done at 9 years previous, that, look, they weren't great, but I've seen a hell of a lot worse than that, let me tell you.
I just wonder, I think that might be, if we'd learn a lesson from that, it's just to try and show to the youngsters that whatever you put out there is out there and it'll always be out there. Regardless if you think you've deleted off yours account, somebody's going to have a copy of it somewhere. Yeah,
I completely agree. So absolute lesson. And funny you say, I've been talking to some of our students today about that. Once it's there, even if you think you can delete it, there'll be clever people who can get it back. And you doubt the integrity of the people who'll be trawling through everybody's Twitter accounts to bring that back, but unfortunately that's another side of society.
They've got a great life, haven't they? They must be great cricket fans. They must just be sat there nothing to do in Test match. They're just strolling through.
Let's see if we could stitch one of our own up. Yeah, well done.
I know.
But there we go.
But right, what have you got planned for the weekend, Jack?
Bit of golf
tomorrow. With the cricket boys.
With the Wanderers boys, the committee, the founding committee. So we're going to hopefully play some golf. We're going to play some golf. It's going to be hot, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
And then we're going to dot some I's, cross some T's ready for Monday's meeting, and hopefully then we can really push on after Monday to get things out on social media, solidify sponsorship, get some kit.
I've got your player, by the way.
Oh, have you?
Yeah, I'll take it back off.
Oh, very good. Yeah, so that
South African player.
Oh, right, is he the guy you work with?
It is, yeah. Suddens is keen.
Very good, very good. Hopefully he's a quick bowler. He looks like a quick bowler.
He's like 6 foot.
He looks a bit like Broad, actually.
He's a bit limmy.
Limmy. Could be a very elegant batsman.
He's definitely limmy.
Right, yeah. So yeah, that's this weekend on Friday anyway. So I don't know. What about yourself?
Sleeping. Well, the boys got a game tonight, so
I'm going to go watch it.
Well, it depends if I'm allowed in or not. The restrictions. I just don't get it. I'll find out. If I can go and watch, I'll take him. If not, he's in a job vaccine.
He's going alright though, isn't he, Harry?
He's doing really well at the moment. So he's hit a bit of he's in a bit of form. He's training really well. He's playing well. So he's looking to carry it on. And the fact that I scored last night, I've been in his ear already today. Going, if you don't score, you're awful. So we'll see how he reacts on the back of that one.
He's going to be a point where he's bigger than you.
He is.
But he's taller than you.
He's bigger than me now. Just doesn't have any guns though.
No, absolutely. No, he needs to get in the gym, Harry.
He's about 6 stone went through. But yeah,
that's the plan for the weekend, and obviously, in between times, lots of Test match cricket to watch, and the football starts tomorrow.
That's all I'm bothered about, the football.
Excellent.
Bring it on.
But it's tinged with a bit of sadness for you, isn't it? Tomorrow night's game.
Yeah, for people that didn't know, I said tickets for this game for last year, and then it was the only game. So the wife bought me 3 tickets. It was this game, the quarters and the semis. Quarters and the semis I had to give back because I couldn't get there. This game I could get there too, so I went to a ballot. Didn't get pulled out.
Oh no!
So I'll be watching with a little tear in my eye.
What time is kick-off?
It's 11 o'clock, I think.
Oh, I'll be back by then.
Oh yeah.
Maybe we should try out the fan zone.
Oh, maybe we should.
I think.
We'll keep in contact.
Anyway,
but end of the day, Jack, what do we know?
Absolutely.